if you've ever said I hate rose fragrances, I encourage you to watch this video because I have here fragrances that all have the note of rose in it, but not in the way you might think. I think so much of the time rose is a note that is vilified when it comes to perfumery. People associate rose with fragrances that smell stuffy, fragrances that smell old-fashioned to them, and in general, when you compare, for example, the note of vanilla, where everyone seems to really love vanilla, rose is constantly underrated. But I have grown to love rose, and these fragrances are from all different price points. I have super affordable options and more niche, but what really ties them together is that the rose fragrances in this video are really good, and even if you don't like fragrances that have rose, I encourage you to try some of these out because you just might surprise yourself. With this in mind, if this is your first time watching my channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances and I talk about them here 5 times a week, along with a ton of bonus content in between, and I also publish videos on TikTok and Instagram. If you're interested in seeing more, follow me there. My username is ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. So yes, I have a good mix of fragrances here. Some of them are more affordable, others are not so much, and I'm going to do my best to focus more on what these fragrances smell like. So let's just say you're into green fragrances. This is going to be a good way for you to try and find green fragrances that have a little bit of rose in them. Let's just say you're into woody notes. Well, same here. If you're interested in like darker fragrances, brighter fragrances, I'm going to try and describe fragrances in those ways in this video to be a little bit more helpful. First up is a fragrance that's quite new to my collection. This is from Experimental Perfume Club. It's called Rose Charcoal. Now, I've had this for quite a few days. I've been wearing it pretty often, but I will say, surprisingly, this perfume has been getting a lot more compliments than I'm typically used to. So I like to spray my fragrances on, every day. Like, I love experimenting with different scents. Sometimes people will give me compliments on a certain scent profile, other times not so much. I wear fragrances for me, not necessarily just to get a compliment. And with Rose Charcoal, I gravitate towards this perfume because I genuinely do love like an aromatic rose. That's a scent profile that I really appreciate, and that's what this is because you have ambroxan here. You have a bit of suede, which I find very unique, the peony, there's a bit of rhubarb in here. And this is, yeah, this is a perfume that leans aromatic. There's also the additional note of sandalwood, and let me see what else. Cassis, vetiver. So this perfume is like very interesting. It's quite unique in my mind. But when I have worn this fragrance, people literally are telling me, they're like, you smell so good, or they make a comment about someone smelling amazing, and it's this. Like, this is so interesting. So definitely, if you like something that's a bit more aromatic, maybe like slightly like edgy, this is so good. But I will say that it's very unique, but it's something that people have been gravitating towards a lot. So definitely recommend you give this a try. They also have a discovery set that I would recommend you try out, and I do have a code with the brand. You can use Anya10 for 10% off. I'll put it down below. But yeah, I've been very happy with this one. This is a very unusual take on a fragrance in general, but people have really been drawn to this one. Next up is something for those of you who love edgy, gothic fragrances. This is Nirvana Rose by Elizabeth and James. This fragrance has been discontinued, but you can still relatively easily get it on FragranceNet. It's pretty affordable. I think this size will run you about $30. I think that's pretty fair. And this perfume is a fragrance with vetiver, geranium, and rose. So it's a perfume that has like an almost jammy rose in there, but like when you think in your head about what this fragrance smells like, I think it smells like dark red roses in a Gothic cathedral. Like, that's what I think of when I smell this perfume. So this is a really beautiful rose fragrance, but what I like about this is that it has those aromatic touches, making it smell very unique, and I love this perfume. A running theme with a lot of these fragrances is some of these fragrances are quite aromatic and woody, and I find one of the most underrated scent profiles would be a rose with an aromatic or woody touch, or both. And this perfume also has that aromatic woody accord with a bit of rose, and I'm referring to Reinvented Pheromones. Now, this is a perfume that doesn't technically have pheromones, it's just called that. This is a very elegant perfume with a ton of fragrance notes in here, including pink pepper, orris. It has a woody base to it. It's beautiful. It almost smells quite buttery with like the way it's blended, and there is a bit of rose here. You can't quite pick it out if you're just smelling it blind, but when you look at the scent pyramid, it makes sense that it's there. So I would say this is a good one if you're just looking for something that's very versatile, easy to wear. Reinvented is a chronically underrated brand. I love their creations. This bottle was gifted to me, but I've purchased another bottle from them before that I absolutely fell in love with. It's called Epiphany. I would have featured that in this video, but I've also been neglecting Pheromones as well. So both of those fragrances have really good iterations of rose. This one is just like one of those elegant, yeah, it's an elegant aromatic perfume. It's very unisex. This is beautiful. So yeah, let me look at the scent pyramid. Let's see what else we have here. So we have pink pepper, saffron, bergamot, elemi, cardamom, jasmine, orris root, and rose, and then base of labdanum, sandalwood, vanilla, vetiver, musk, and cypriol oil. So this perfume does smell very aromatic, soft, spicy. There's a pink pepper and saffron that you get right at the top. It's a very approachable perfume. It's kind of like your little black dress kind of scent. It's super, super versatile. I can see anyone wearing this. This is a very unisex fragrance. Next, I'm going to be sharing something that is perfect if you love gourmand perfumes. And you might be thinking, what kind of a rose perfume is also gourmand? I'm here to tell you it comes in the form of Idole Nectar by Lancome. This is one of my favorite gourmand scents. It features that signature Idole rose, but it also combines it with a note of popcorn. There's some vanilla in here as well, and there's also caramel. So if you love gourmands, but you want to get into a rose, this is so good. It's like, think of a rose fragrance without being so literal rose, but also think of a gourmand without just being gourmand. This perfume is so interesting. It smells delicious. It literally smells like it's not gourmand, it's not too rosy, it's just right in between. Also, this perfume is so easily accessible. Definitely recommend going into Sephora, Ulta, wherever you shop for designer fragrances and giving this a sniff, because I guarantee you, if you love gourmands and you want to get into more rose scents, this is a must try. You have to get your hands on this one. It's so good. Like, it's really, really good. So approachable, smells delicious, lasts a really long time. I regret not getting the larger bottle because this is an absolute, like, one of my favorite designer fragrances. This is really good. Let's say you want something that's fresh, more green. You don't want some of these more floral roses. You want something that's more on the green side. This is a terrific option by Sniff. This is Vow Factor. It's one of my favorite green fragrances, and I personally don't really like a lot of green fragrances. This was created by Professor Perfume for her wedding, and she happens to really love green fragrances. So this was like her ideal wedding fragrance, and it smells amazing. It's like bright green, zesty. The rose here is an accent. So once again, if you're looking for that introduction to rose fragrances, this is a terrific option. So this does have additional notes of fig, mandarin orange, galbanum, neroli, rose, orris, and then a base of cedarwood, ambret, and tonka bean. It's a beautiful fragrance, so versatile. I love this perfume. Okay, so the next fragrance is Replicas on a Date. Personally, I think this is the best fragrance they have in this line. This is terrific. No one talks about it. I don't understand why, because we know By the Fireplace, what else, Jazz Club. Those fragrances to me, like, they're iconic, yes, but they're not as good as this. And this lasts a really long time. Replica's kind of known for like not lasting a really long time. This lasts very well, considering it's coming from Replica. It's phenomenal. Let's get into the notes. This fragrance has top notes of black currant, pink pepper, bergamot, a mid of rose, geranium, and Nirvana, and then a base of patchouli, moss, musk, and vetiver. This fragrance has a gorgeous sillage, and I can't smell it as well because like, I'm actually a little bit sick, so like I'm not able to smell it, but yes, I can smell it on my shirt. And this perfume has fruity aspects, so if you're interested in more gourmand fragrances, this might be a good one to try. Also, it's super accessible. You can sample it in store, but it also has a bit of an aromatic touch. Geranium and rose, in my opinion, go together so well. So does vetiver. So vetiver, geranium, and rose, like that's like the trilogy that goes so well, and a lot of these fragrances have that combination because those more aromatic notes, like the geranium and vetiver, balance out the jamminess of the rose. So if you want a fragrance that doesn't smell so rose heavy, sometimes looking for a scent pyramid that balances the rose out with other aromatic woody notes is the way to go, and this does it so well. This is a more jammy rose, but with those aromatic touches, it turns into something that's like fruity, woody. The sillage on this is gorgeous. People can smell you even if you're outside. I love this perfume, and I've actually I've had this for quite a while, and I have like a baby dent, but I will say a little bit goes a long way. This is one of those fragrances you don't really need a lot, so that's why I only have the small one, but I think it's adorable. But yeah, that's all the fragrances, or those are all the fragrances I wanted to share. Fragrances that are really underrated and great options if you're looking to get into rose perfumes and you don't really know where to start. Again, no one really talks about fragrances with rose in them as much as, say, your other like vanilla gourmand perfumes, but I do think that rose is one of those fragrance notes that I personally really love. So I hope this video was useful. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye.